Good evening. Are we hot? There we are. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Star City Concert Series, proudly sponsored by Bentley's Heating and Air. My name's Doug, and I'm here representing the Miamisburg Art Gallery. Come out here where they can see you. There we are. And the Miamisburg Art Gallery, for those of you that don't know, was founded on Main Street, kind of there across from Bennett's in 1966. And actually prior to that, Gene Woods had a studio down near the old drive-in theater near the railroad overpass. The president with us here tonight is Sandy Fry. Raise your hand, Sandy. And with Sandy is immediate past president, Rosie Nick. Our Miamisburg Art Guild has 68 members that are local artists. The gallery is located across the street from Bullwinkle's, in case you haven't been there, and you should go. And it's open on Thursdays from 5:30 to 8, Friday and Saturdays noon to 8. It's volunteer operated. They have art lessons for adults and children, and open painting on Wednesday mornings. The current exhibit is by local artist and instructor Dave Klein that runs through July 19th. They have an art journal workshop for those of you that are interested in that on Saturday the 19th starting at 1 o'clock. It's open to all. My favorite event at the art gallery every year is what they call the juried art show. And applications are out there now. They will end up with 170 displayed pieces of art from Southwest Ohio and Indiana, and even as far away as the Columbus area and down through Cincinnati. That exhibit is open August 16th through September 6th. They award over 1,500 in prizes. Forms are now available or on the website if you're interested in applying, and that's www.miamisburgartgallery.com. We're glad to have Witt's Frozen Custard on site tonight. They're serving up premium frozen custards, something famous for their rotating daily flavors, friendly service, easy curbside pickup. Be sure to grab a sweet treat. If you're looking for things to do around town or need general assistance this evening, swing by the Parks and Recreation tent right over here. They've got information on upcoming activities and programs. And just a quick reminder, restrooms are available at both the north and south ends of the park. And now, to kick things off, please join me in giving a warm welcome to our very own Star City Community Band. Thank you.
All right, good evening, everyone. We are the Star City Community Band. My name is Steve Aylward. I'm the band director here at Miamisburg High School and the director of this band. That was Katie Welch. She is our other director here of this group. We are thankful to have you out here tonight. That was the Washington Post by John Philip Sousa. Up next, we're going to go a little more modern. Not that modern, but kind of. But we got this one by request of a couple of our band members because we found it was in the 1974 Miamisburg High School marching band show, and a couple of folks in the band were in the marching band then, so they wanted to play this. So this is the kind of the old standard MacArthur Park.
So our next tune, we're going to kind of stay in some more modern classics, but this one's going to take us to some TV. This is the Hawaii Five-O theme.
All right, up next is music from a musical that got turned into a movie this past year, one of the most popular movies of the year. This is a collection of songs from the musical and the movie Wicked.
Up next, we're going to take it back to some music and kind of keep it on Broadway. This is songs by ABBA. It's entitled ABBA on Broadway. So in this, it's going to feature I Have a Dream, Mamma Mia, SOS, Knowing Me, Knowing You, The Winner Takes All, and Dancing Queen. So we hope you enjoy ABBA.
All right, so before we play our last song, this is our last performance of the season. I want to personally thank the band for being absolutely awesome this whole summer. Yeah, absolutely. I'd also like to thank everybody at Miamisburg Parks and Rec for helping make this happen. None of this happens without them. Obviously, Mayor Collins and the entire city administration are all incredibly supportive of us. So we're very, very appreciative, and thank you. If you're interested, we'll be starting up next May. We start right about the beginning of May, and we end in July. It doesn't matter how long it's been since you played an instrument 30, 40, 50 years ago, come on and join us. We'd love to have you out. We're going to end with the National March of the United States to end our summer concert series and to lead into this awesome band here tonight. So we hope you enjoy John Philip Sousa's Stars and Stripes Forever. Feel free to clap along at the end if you'd like.
Oh my gosh. I'm like somebody's hand. Thank you. Hey, buddy. I'm trying to take off. Okay.
Thank you very much. We'll clear out, and the headliners will be on here at 7 o'clock. Thank you again.